Very upset customer at the coin shop. I'm recording this video right after come home, have lunch. I'm going to do a quick video for you folks. I'll probably be doing a third one later this afternoon. I want to get this out there. There is a lot of turmoil out there, I would say. A lot of concern. There's some selling going on. Look, it is what it is. It stinks. Alright? We're trying to help every single customer out there. Give me a like for the video. Share the video out. Don't think about the Pinbacks giveaway coming up. They're sending me $10 face of silver quarters, my friends. I'm also going to give away in the same giveaway $3.35 face of 90% silver. Total giveaway $13.35 in face. Look up the values, my friends. That is a huge, huge giveaway. You must be subscribed. Let's just get into the video right now. I had a guy come in, and it was about the same time the guy who's trying to buy the house, trying to get a house, he brings another $60 in face of 90% silver in. So I was in my office, had the three workers up front. One has a doctor's appointment. She will be back later this afternoon, whatever the case may be. She may not even show up for the rest of the day, depending on how the doctor's appointment goes. But anyways, we had a good crew going today. All three of them were busy. This guy had a sack of, comes out to be $500 in face of 90% silver. Okay? I want you to picture this. There's three people at their counter doing transactions, either selling or buying at the time. So I guess this customer who has a sack of $500 face of 90% silver, he was paying more attention to that transaction. Of course, we didn't ask that person why he was selling, because we know why he was selling. Got done with the transaction. One of the girls got the same person that just dealt with the guy who just sold us the $60 in face. She was just asking him. She says, "Look, sir, you don't have to answer this question. You don't have to answer this question. But why are you selling for?" The guy went completely nuts. He says, "Well, silver's high. That's why I want to sell it." And he went off on a complete yelling at her. Of course, that gets my attention. I come out to find out what's going on. He says, she's accused of me of stealing. I says, where did we get this from now? I'm hearing the conversation. I said, that's not what she said. She asked you why you were selling. I said, if you don't want to answer that, that's fine. He went off on me. You have no right to ask. I said, well, we have the right to ask. You just don't have to answer the question, sir. Well, silver's high. That's why I want to sell. Oh, okay. So I said, I'll tell you. And he said, then you didn't even ask that other guy. I said, well, the other guy is trying to buy a house. He's selling a little bit at a time. I said, that's what we told him. That was our opinion what to do. I said, if you want to dump all this out at one time, that's your choosing. So we're not financial advisors, of course. And he's just going on the rant. I says, look, you either want to sell it or you don't. So that's going to be up to you. This is all we're trying to do is trying to educate people not to dump it all at one time. I said, you don't have to answer this question as well. I said, you need the money right now. I said, I don't want you to answer that. I want you to stop and think. Then I said, if you're going to sell it and go put it in the bank, I said, that's crazy. I said, because the dollar is dying. I says, who's to say silver's not going to be $38, $39 in a month or two? He stopped and thought, okay? He stopped and thought about that. And I said, why would you want to dump it all at once if you don't? I said, if you need it for something, I said, that's more, okay. This guy's doing a little bit of time. He's putting the money towards the house. I says, all we're asking people to do is think before they sell. I understand people want to take profits, but we got to get our gosh darn mind, my friends, out of the gosh darn dollar. We got to get away from that somehow. We got to get away from, oh, I'm making a profit, going to go put it in the bank. That's the craziest thing anybody could do, in my opinion. I mean, sell if you need to sell. If you want to take a little bit of profit, that's fine. But don't sell your whole stack all at one time. Of course, I don't know if silver's going to go back down to $30. We don't know if silver's going to go up to $40. You cost average in, so cost average out. That's all. That's all I'm trying to make a point of. Not trying to give anybody financial advice. That's not what I do here on this channel. This is not what we do at the coin shop. Trying to educate people the right way. And some people think it's all about the mighty old dollar. We have done the Pepsi test before. The Pepsi indicator on 2 silver halves. We've shown the value, how it's kept up. Okay, I've shown that. And silver and gold over the long-term holds. So what he ended up doing, he said, let me just think about what you just said here. And he says, can I sit down? Now he's starting to come a little unwind at first. And I said, why don't you grab yourself a soda? I'll come and talk to you. Trying to calm people down. This is not, we're not trying to hurt anybody. We're not trying to tell anybody what to do. We're just trying to educate. Here we go again. So I talked to this guy. I says, look, man, we're not trying to keep you from selling. If you want to sell it all, that's fine. Sell it all. My personal opinion, I said, you don't need to answer the question. I said, you need to answer this for yourself. You need the cash right now. If the answer is no, why are you selling anyways? You have a plan for it. That is what we're trying to get across. And he says, well, honestly, I don't have a plan for the cash. I said, why are you selling then? Why are you trying to sell? Because the price is high. Okay. I said, how much? I said, let me ask you this. I said, how much do you have into it times face? He says, well, I got a cost average. I said, okay, then cost average going out. I said, if you want to sell $100, 100 face today, sell 100 face today. I said, but keep in mind, yes, silver could go down tomorrow. Or Monday, I should say. Silver could go up Monday. Silver could start really ramping up. Nobody knows. Right? Nobody knows where it's going to go next. And he says, I didn't think about it this way. And he says, excuse me for a minute. He goes over and apologized to the girl, shook her hand. And he says, I think I'm going to just sell $50 face and do it like the other guy's doing and playing the game. I said, well, again, he's doing it for a reason. He's getting a house eventually with that. I said, what are you getting with it? I said, this is 2 different stories here. And he says, you're absolutely right. I got no plans for it. Why am I selling for? He says, even if it goes down to 32, 31, 28 again. He says, I'm still doing all right with it. If it goes up more, I make a little bit more. I said, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say. I said, think about it. Think about the dollar going bye-bye. He said, well, we go in digital currency. This country is gone to hell in a handbasket. His words, not mine. And I said, what do you think the 90% silver will come in useful for? Barter and trade, right? It's, my friends, sometimes it just takes 5, 10, 15 minutes with somebody to send that little light bulb on. And explain, we don't know the market any better else than anybody else does. I can't sit here and tell you silver's going to be $44 by the end of June. Could it be? It could. All right, could it be $30 by the end of June? Yeah, it could. I've said before on this channel, if you don't need to sell, think twice. Sleep on it. Don't overreact to a certain price. Don't overreact. Check out channel sponsor Pinbacks, my friends. Still having their silver quarter special. 3 rolls or more. I don't have the cards in this video. I'm getting ready to go back to work, so I apologize about that. I'll have the cards in my third video later this afternoon. I just want to come on here and let people know, yeah, there is some selling going on. We're not seeing big selling. People are just taking some profits right now, and that's okay too. You know, especially if you need something. It's okay to take profits when you need something. It's okay to take profits if you don't need something. Put some extra cash on the sidelines. That's okay too. But realize, nobody knows where this market is going. Nobody knows. Thank you, Pinbacks, for sponsoring Coin Shop Chris. Thank you to the viewer out there, because it's not possible without you. I want to end with this. You see 3 graded coins on your screen. Okay? You see 2 state labeled NGC graded coins. No, they did a series on every state. Every state's got their own special label from NGC. I know there's a lot of dislikes about the graded coins and whatnot. You gotta cost average that too. Okay? Some people like them, some people don't. Look, a raw silver Eagle is selling for right around 40 bucks. $41, $42 for raw 2025. Let's note that. Put that in your head for a moment. These 2 coins here, these 2 state labeled coins, I paid about $45 for it. Now, if you bought them when they were brand new, you would be paying the grading fees, everything like that. I think I've done all right with them. No, I think I've done all right with them, with the time being right now. Yeah, I could probably get $65, $75 for each coin. Not ready to flip yet. That's not what I got them for. This Australian rabbit coin. I love these. Alright? I love these coins. These right now are selling for about 100 bucks. I got this one for 51 back in 2023 when they were making them. Yeah, the price was a little higher. The raw ones were going about 44. I gotta happen to get a good deal with them. I think I've done all right if I want to flip them right now, but I'm not going to flip them. Silver goes up, these are going to go up with it, my friends. Not all the time. Grading coins is a whole different market altogether. Sometimes the market's stronger, sometimes the market's weaker. Right now, I would say the market is quite weaker right now on trying to sell graded coins, but there's still people out there are willing to pay for graded coins and pay up for graded coins because they are called collectors. You know, as we become stackers, I think most of us, not all of us, most of us come to like different types of coins, rounds, bars, you name it, and we start getting a little bit more inches of collecting. Okay, I'm sure most of you have items in your stack that'd be the last gosh darn item you were willing to give up in a trade. That would have to be your last piece, and if you were so hungry, yeah, you would have to give it up, I would guess. But there are probably items in your stack that you would probably not want to give up right off the bat. I'm sure of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it tends we start dabbling into the collector mode. Just want to give a warning on that. Know what you're doing when you're getting graded coins. I don't recommend for a new stacker out there starting to dabble into graded coins in the first 2 years. Until you have a good idea of what the market is, I'll be stacking the cheapest stuff possible right now. And that's really 1 ounce rounds all the way up to 10 ounce bars have about the same premium rate them. 90% silver right now Maybe some of your backdated foreign silver and gold, they got a little bit less premium on right now. This is what we tell people to shop. Rounds, rounds, rounds. Generic bars, all the way up to 10-ounce bars. Yeah, 10-ounce bars are not gonna. You're not gonna see any less premiums right now. We're paying about the same. You bring in a 1-ounce round, 10-ounce bar. It's gonna be the same payback rate, and we're paying a little bit under spot right now. Not by much. Okay, it's like 50 cents. Okay, it's like 50 cents. We're paying below spot right now. There are times we have paid spot. There are times we paid over spot. It really depends on the coin shop for one. Okay, I want to make that crystal clear. The coin shop or the online bullion dealer you're dealing with. How we try to handle at the shop is, okay, do we need it? Do we have that particular round? Do we have that particular bar? If not, we're going to pay a little bit more. We want inventory. We want different inventory in our stores. So we are basing it on that scenario. Sometimes it's hard. You got so much of something like Buffalo rounds. We got a lot of them. You bring Buffaloes right now, you're probably going to get close to that 50 cent to 70 cents below spot right now because we got so many. That is where we're at with those. I'm just giving you an example of the item people bring into our shop. Other shops are probably going to be totally different with pricing, with buybacks, with selling back to you on different products as well. But some coin shops will do round is round, silver bar is a silver bar. It don't matter what it has on it. We're paying you the same. You know, look, there's no rules how coin shops should run. Every coin shop's going to run differently. I'm just letting you know how we do it. There are other coin shops do it just like us. If you folks have any questions for me about silver, gold, or platinum, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to help you. There's some trying times right now. Yes, there's some selling. There's some buying. What's a little bit better for our shop right now? It's probably about, I don't want to say even, a little bit more buying right now, I would say, than selling. Because we take the time to educate our customers. That's all. 5-10 minutes. Not trying to prevent them from selling. We just don't want to make a mistake. We're not trying to give them financial advice. We're just putting a little idea in their head. You might want to sleep on it for one more day. We're open 6 days a week. The only days we're closed are Sundays and a major holiday. That is it, my friends. We're there all the time. If someone wants to go home and think about it for a couple hours, they can come back later in the afternoon. That's what we told this guy too. Look, go home. Go have lunch. Think about it. We're right. I said, you live far from me? No. Okay, fine. You're within driving distance anyways. Just think before you sell. Think before you make a purchase. And cost average. In and out. Meaning, cost average when you're buying or converting. If you're planning to sell, don't need to really sell, and you want to take some profits, that's going to be on you. Cost average back out. Because you don't know where that price is going to go. Don't sell it all one day and next week we get to 40 bucks an ounce and you be kicking yourself in the rear end. Can't say that word today. Rear end. Because you sold it all at once. Just all I'm asking is to just have that idea in your head. And think about it. Because it could happen either which way. Yeah, you can also kick yourself in the rear end if you don't sell it and the price drops. Nobody knows. That's the point. Alright? Nobody knows. You start seeing the price drop and sell a little bit more. If that's what you want to do. That's it. Coin Shop Chris is out. We'll see you later this afternoon, my friends.